Hey everybody, it's Wonderful Skiff. I'm back here again with another Skiff Smasher Showcase, and today we are bringing on South Dakota, not ranked in anything, PinkShirtGuy.
Yes,
How you doing
sir.
today, man?
Hey, I'm excellent. How are you doing?
It's another day in the neighborhood. I probably could complain, but I won't, just for now.
I respect that.
Yeah. So, we're going to get right into this. So just to go over it a little bit here, PinkShirtGuy is a man of many characters, but it seems like he's starting to settle on Min Min a bit. So how are you feeling about Min Min so far, especially being, such a brand new character?
Yeah, so I'll run through my thought process on this a little bit. I tend to lean towards characters that have a little bit of complexity behind them. I do enjoy myself some zoning characters, but I've dabbled with many flavors. Min Min has sort of stuck for me just because she almost feels like Olimar without the bugs. And I used to be a pretty dedicated Olimar player, and then I got really frustrated with him because I'm not sure how many people are too familiar with this, but that character is very buggy. So Min Min is sort of the best of both worlds. She gets to zone out, make me feel like I'm frustrating my opponent.
I am frustrated.
But there's a lot of stuff and thought that actually goes into Min Min playing as her with the switching of the arms and stuff that really appeals to me. So I guess in a nutshell, I would say I really enjoy her because she's Olimar without the bugs. I get to sort of control the flow of the match to my content.
And you are absolutely controlling the flow of this match. I started off pretty decent with a nice little 40%, and that was the first time I've touched you since.
Yeah, she does tend to keep Incineroar out pretty well.
Yeah, she does. Now, see, I remember when she first came out, I was an absolute hater. I said, this character is fucking garbage. Like, this character is not going to be good. This is going to be the worst DLC character. And slowly but surely, you are definitely making me feel like I'm wrong. Because I know we played a few times now. This is awful.
Absolutely. It's tough. I think a big part of that is, definitely the matchup. If I'm being honest, I still do not know where Min Min could lie on the tier list. I've seen players like Esam put her up pretty high in high tier or top tier. I've seen other players put her like you yourself were saying, initially put her pretty low on bottom tier or bottom of mid tier. Her kit is just really unique, and her weaknesses are very pronounced, but her strengths are very pronounced as well. And so I think it's going to come down to figuring out how to mitigate those weaknesses best she can and enhance those strengths. So time will tell. Of course, there's no offline gameplay for her yet at any tournament due to COVID, but once that starts back up, I think we'll have a better understanding of. That's unfortunate. A better understanding of where she'll fall on the list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I hear you. Since we got that out of the way, and we'll talk about Min Min more as we go on. Like the first question I usually like to ask though is, where does your tag originate from? PinkShirtGuy. It's very straightforward, but it's also like unique in a sense, I guess, because of that. So yeah, where's your tag come from, man?
Yeah, absolutely. This is a great story I like to tell. PinkShirtGuy actually, I didn't get this tag until I joined the Smash scene. My tag, for every other game I play, online and offline, is RQ, which is another story that if we've got time, I'm sure we can get into later. But that is not relevant to this. PinkShirtGuy actually came from the first Smash tournament I ever attended, which was at SDSU, South Dakota State University, which is where I spend most of my time playing Smash Brothers as well. I went to my first ever Smash tournament there, my freshman year of college, and this was a Smash 4 tournament, actually. Ooh, nice. This was a Smash 4 tournament. This was the last Smash 4 tournament that SDSU had hosted, because it was pretty close to December of the year that Ultimate came out. But I was at this tournament, and I couldn't even tell you like what I went, like whether it was 0-2, 2-0, or 2-2, somewhere in between. But I remember I didn't do too bad. But of course, no one knew who I was, right? So And I had input it, or I put my tag in there as RQ, and I remember getting a couple games in with some of the guys who are more well known in the South Dakota scene. Yazi being one of them. He's a Yoshi. Used to play Yoshi. Plays PT a lot now. Or wait, did he play? Yeah, he played Yoshi. Plays PT now. He's from the Brookings scene as well. I got a bunch of games in with him, friendlies after the tournament, and there was a crew battle after the tournament ended, and they were doing a draft style pick, with White Fang being one of the draft captains. I forget who the other one was, but it came down to White Fang's pick, and he had Yazi on his team, right?
Yeah.
And White Fang, it was down to sort of the dredges, right? The people that nobody knew, myself included. And Yazi pointed at me, and he was like, "Yo, White Fang, like, this guy's pretty good. Like, he took a couple games off me in friendlies. You know, of course, he's not like the greatest ever, but out of all these guys that are left, you know, he might be the one to pick." So White Fang goes, "Okay, I'll take the pink shirt guy," because I had a pink shirt on at the time. And then I actually went on to take, I believe it was 7 stocks that crew battle, or maybe 5. Somewhere in the high number vicinity. And then but yeah, after that I just went by the tag pink shirt guy, and I also have worn a pink shirt to every Smash Ultimate tournament I've ever been to.
Just because?
Just because of the tag. Well, if I'm gonna rep the pink shirt guy tag, I've gotta you know, walk the walk rather than just talk the talk. You know
I guess so. I mean, I guess it would be weird if, you know, I showed up to a Smash Bros. Tournament and the first time I see you, you're kind of wearing a blue shirt. I guess that would definitely throw me off.
Yeah, I'm not blue shirt guy. I'm pink shirt guy.
I mean, you could use that as a competitive advantage, though. You guys can be like, all right, this dude should be wearing a pink shirt, and then you're not wearing a pink shirt. Now that's all they can think of. Ooh.
No, I would never trick somebody. I'm an honest man.
I guess that's one way to describe you. But yeah, so interesting. So what about RQ though? Since we actually brought that up, so what's that all about?
Sure. So first of all, you got to understand that it's RQ spelled like ARECUE. And the reason for that, now first I gotta explain. Usually I lie to people, and I know I just said I was honest, but usually I lie to people when they ask how I got the RQ tag, because it's spelled just like barbecue without the B's. So people are like, "Why is your tag RQ?" And I'm like, "Well, it's barbecue, but without the B's, because I don't like B's." And then they're like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." But the real reason is, when I was younger, I played. I started getting into League of Legends. I was in like middle school, right, like 7th, 8th grade, and I thought I wanted to make my tag Rage Quit, because I thought that would be like an edgy, like cool tag. And of course Rage Quit was taken, right, because it's like, it's gaming vernacular, somebody's gonna take it, right?
Yeah.
So I couldn't be Rage Quit, so I went for the next best thing, and I turned it into like an almost like Latin dinosaur sounding name, and I turned it into Ragius Quiticus. And that worked. Nobody had ever thought of that before, so I was Ragius Quiticus in League of Legends, right?
Okay. And
then for the next game, whatever it was, the next game that I wanted to play, Ragius Quiticus did not fit in their. It was like too many characters, so I shortened it to RQ, and then I lengthened the shorten to like actually spelled out ARECUE RQ. So it's like an excessive like lengthen and then shorten and then lengthen again and then shorten again. But that's how I got to RQ.
Okay, interesting. There's a lot of history between that one.
yeah, there definitely is. It's been through quite a bit of change, I would say.
Uh-oh. That's not gonna kill, I forgot. All right, so yeah, so now we know a little bit about your name and I guess, you know, where you've been.
Yeah, that's right.
But yeah, let's get into you as a player now. So obviously one of the more important things here is you and your gameplay style. So right here, you're frustrating me to no end.
Why is that, Skiff?
Well, because I hate this character, and I thought this character was going to be something that, even though Incineroar's slow and she, is a distance demon, I'd be able to, put some pressure on her. And yeah, it's not the case at all. Go figure. But yeah, let's go into you as a player. So, when you're playing a game, let's say you're playing against somebody you don't know, or whatever.
Sure.
Like what is your play style? What are you trying to implement? What are you trying to get your opponent to feel? And yeah, what's your game plan going forward?
So when I'm trying to play, ooh, that was kind of interesting. When I'm trying to play somebody for the very first time, gosh, it's tough because against somebody you've never played before, right? You've got to feel them out, and you've got to sort of play a little bit defensively, more so than I would like, just because you don't know what options they're going to choose. You don't know if they're a totally like optimal player, or if they're one of the people who just wants to go for like the swag or like the super aggressive play. So you have to play a little bit more defensive. So that's what I'll lean towards against somebody I've never played before. But then, as soon as I can try and figure them out, I'm trying to optimize like swag levels. Like I'm going for stuff that makes me feel cool. Whether that's cool to everybody else who's watching, or maybe it's just me. I am playing Min Min right now. But I'm trying to go for stuff that's cool because at the end of the day, I play this game because I think it's fun, and I play this game to have fun with my friends and to get like cool clips. Like if I do well, of course, that's wonderful. But I'm out here to have a good time, and I think, my play style, I try and sort of emulate that a little bit. So yeah, I guess that is sort of what I would say is, I'm trying to play a little bit defensively to feel out my opponent, but as soon as I get a feeling of, how they're going to sort of play, I'm going to try and abuse that best I can and make myself look good on camera.
All right. So yeah, definitely a man of style, which is very interesting because you said you play Olimar earlier. You used to play Olimar. You play Min Min now, and before then you were playing Ice Climbers for a bit, right?
Yeah, Terry and Ice Climbers.
Terry
both.
and Ice Climbers, yeah. I think Terry and Ice Climbers, despite how some people might feel about those characters, those are definitely flashy characters for the most part. I don't care what anybody says. People are always going to get mad at whatever character you talk about. So
For sure, yeah. Everyone's a critic.
yeah, no, the good stuff. I can definitely tell when we play. Maybe not quite so much with Min Min. I am still a bit of a hater, but
No, that's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, no, you definitely play with some flair. Because I remember it was our first actual time playing against each other. It was at one of the South Dakota Wi-Fi weeklies. It's when this whole thing started, and it's honestly one of my favorite sets I've ever played. We started off doing Incineroar Dittos, and then we went into, what was it? Was it Ridley?
Yeah. Ridley, Piranha Plant. I don't remember the other two, but
it was.
We ended up Terry.
Yeah. Because yeah, it was Ridley, and you went up 2-0, and I said, all right, cool, Piranha Plant, and I forgot how the second one after that. Yeah, dude, I love Piranha Plant. I forgot who the one after that was because we went to Game 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, Terry was what I ended it on. I was like, yeah, Terry, and then you're like, yeah, I made this guy. I said, shit.
You guessed wrong.
Yeah. So basically, for just in case anybody wasn't quite able to keep up, we just pretty much did a 5-game set Ditto in bracket, and it was a lot of fun. It was honestly one of the most fun I've had in a set in general.
Yeah, it was a blast. I thought you were gonna revenge. I just wanted to wait it out. But no, for sure. And I will say, with Min Min, I'll ask you, so, if you would be so gracious as to be patient a little bit. This character's only been out for like 3 weeks or something like that. I'm working on maximizing the swag, but I don't really, like, the kill confirms are kind of hard. Like, there's more to be learned. But
no, for sure. And like the thing is, I think this character actually fits your playstyle. Fits your playstyle a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, I think you'll figure this character out.
For sure.
Oh yeah. So anyway, going off your strengths there, like obviously you like to try and be flashy and you like to kind of play defensively. But what do you think your weaknesses are as a player?
So my weaknesses as a player, I think. I mean, one of them, and this isn't really, I guess, play style much, but I definitely do dabble a little bit too much with a lot of characters. And that, of course, will then lead into not really getting as much matchup experience as I should get. But I guess as far as play style would go, it's a tough question because I'm a very confident player, but I think something pretty tough is I don't tend to push advantage as much as I should. Because and I'm sure we'll get into this a little after, but because in my opinion one of my best strengths as a player is my neutral. I'm really comfortable to just stay in neutral against my opponent rather than maybe optimally push advantage as much as I should.
Was that a kill thing?
Yeah, I think Incineroar is a little too hefty to die at 149 though.
Uh-oh, we got a little bit of lag going on.
Thank
you, Nintendo!
The Nintendo special. But yeah, I guess, advantage state is something I gotta work on. That is what I would label as my most difficult thing for me to get used to is pushing advantage, which I'm trying to do a little bit more. I've been looking for calling out people's double jumps and jumps at a disadvantage and whatnot, but it's a learning process for sure.
For sure, yeah. And I think that's okay to be a confident player and feel like you don't have as many weaknesses. I mean, granted, we could all improve as players better, but yeah, no, I think that's fine. I don't think everybody needs to have a weakness because some people are just pretty solid across the board. It's just getting better at those things,
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I won't say that I'm a perfect player because, like, clearly I'm just, an unranked schmuck. But I try to look at things from a learning perspective, and I take the loss and I see what I can learn from that, right?
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things you can do as a player is understand that mistakes are going to be made.
Yeah, no, that's the thing is, like, I feel like even though you're unranked, I feel like you're one of those unranked players that could go into a set with a ranked player, and they will instantly know, like, hey, I honestly just shouldn't be fucking around with this guy. Like, I should probably be taking this a bit more seriously.
For sure, man. Hey, I appreciate that. But yeah, no, absolutely. I think, I don't know, I try and make the top guys sweat a little bit. I think, yeah, that's definitely true. I don't really know what I was going to say there. I lost my train of thought, but...
You got lost in the min sauce. That's what.
yeah, if you can call it that.
Man, I jump from ledge way too often. Ah!
Yeah.
All right, I mean, I got you there.
Most people want to jump. Oh, speaking of jump, most people want to jump from ledge against Min just because like her ledge trap is so nice. But then you jump from ledge against her, and then she just calls out your jump and F smashes you in the air.
Yeah, that's that.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, yeah, so we went over your strengths and weaknesses, but let's kind of get over, the all-encompassing aspect of you as a player. What do you think your skill level is at, and like, where do you want to be by the end of Ultimate Slash Sky?
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, that was weird. Where my skill level's at right now? I think right now, honestly, I could contend to be top 10 South Dakota. And at the end of Ultimate, that is really far away. I couldn't even, like, my foresight, man, this is a very tough question. At the end of Ultimate, I would like to be... And I don't know, like top 5 in South Dakota. I know that doesn't really sound like a high goal, really. But
that's fine, man.
Like I said before, like to me, being ranked would be nice, right? It'd be cool to like, tell people like, oh, you play Smash Bros? Yeah, I'm ranked South Dakota. Like, I'm one of the top 10 best players in the state. Like, sure, that's cool, but at the end of the day, like, I do this because it's fun. And I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to, like, become the best in the world. Like, would that be cool? For sure. But, I feel like I feel like to me it's just a game, and I'm here to have fun with the game. I'm here to make friends and meet people and just have a good time. So that's my defense to
it's not the rank, it's the friends you made along the way.
You know what, Skiff? I couldn't have said it better myself.
You know what? If I didn't know you enough as a person, I'd be like, this dude is phoning it in. He is so fake as shit. But from all of my experience with you so far, I can tell anybody who's listening to this that this is actual genuine stuff, man. Pink Shirt Guy is definitely one of the more nicer dudes I've met in the scene. Or not met, but, you know, at least had conversations with in the scene in general. So, yeah.
No, absolutely.
You don't have to take this information with a grain of salt.
I try and make everybody's day a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like, and I guess we're getting into some philosophical stuff here, but I don't know. I feel like being a little smiley never hurt anybody. And
right?
At the end of the day, that's just having a good time is really what matters.
No, I feel
Although,
it. So
the amount of times you've hit me with Incineroar or Side B, not been making me feel like I'm having a good time.
I don't want to hear it. Your grab goes further than my side B. Not really, but you know, it feels like it. Actually, it might be close.
It might.
Hold on. Let's try something. Let's try something real quick. All right, stand on top of the little turbine over there.
Oh, right here.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna stand here. Go ahead and try and grab. Just a normal grab. Okay. So probably about right here. Go ahead.
Almost. You might have to be like under the middle, almost.
Okay.
Min actually doesn't have the longest grab. Samus's grab
is it
longer.
Samus? I don't know why. Wait, try a turnaround.
Pivot grab. I don't think she gains much distance off her pivot. Yeah.
Okay.
It's a little bit.
Dash? What about a dash?
Oh, my bad. Dash grab?
Yeah. How far can that go? I feel like
That's
you can
pretty
go
far.
further than that.
I mean, well, of course, because she gets the little extra movement from the dash itself, right? Like that's going to move her forward.
Okay, yeah, 'cause what? I go that far? I don't know, man. It might.
You're going up a slant there too, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Anyway, we can get through this now. Sometimes I feel like that grab goes forever. Oh, what the hell? That was cute.
Yeah, tether cancel. You like that?
Dude, she
No,
got
for sure.
She got tether cancels. She got jump cancels.
Oops, she's got
Death
up being the
cancels.
wrong way.
Staying alive cancels. Ah!
Yeah,
But yeah,
Incineroar canceled from being alive.
Incineroar canceled. But yeah, okay, so yeah, we went over, you know, you as a player, and then at least where you think about where your skill is. But like continuing off of that, so what are some results? Because obviously you brought up recently about where Pink Shirt Guy comes from, and that's from a tournament that you did pretty well at. So what other results you have, either online or offline, that you feel like you're pretty proud of, or at least something braggable, you know?
Oh, for sure. So I guess. I mean, first I gotta preface this by saying, like, it's not gonna be a long list. There's a reason I'm unranked in South Dakota. But on the other hand, I have shown up a little bit. At Smash and Splash 5, I think I was, if I remember right, I was like 231st out of 1,600. Which, you know, 231st, like, yeah, not great. But it was a lot better than I thought I was going to do, if I'm being real. I got a chance to play Meister, actually, in pools there. And did I get 2-0'd? Yes. Did I feel like the second game was getting closer? Also, yes. You know,
what was
like,
the stock count?
What was the stock count?
It was close, though.
It was close, though. No, it was, I think it was last stock in game 2. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, ask me in a year. That's all I'm saying. Like, again, like, results are not really what I'm here to, like, care too much about. I'm here because, you know, I enjoy the game, and I've taken games off of ranked South Dakota players. I don't think anyone in the top 5 range, but definitely guys in the bottom 5 range. Bottom 5 of the top 10, not like bottom 5 of South Dakota. But I mean, other than that, like nothing like really comes to mind. I guess I have a set on Grady from Minnesota. That's pretty good. Although that was before he started playing Bowser and you know, King Koopa really sauces his King Koopa at least. That was back when he played Mario. But no, I mean nothing other than that like really comes to mind. But again, that's just like that's part of the thing with like, you know, maybe if I would just like settle down and pick a character, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to get into excuses or anything. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not happy with my results because, you know, to be honest, I really could not care less. Like results are I know I sound like a broken record. Results are not what's important to me here.
Yeah. I think that's fine though. It's the friends we made along the way. We went over this.
Yeah, absolutely. So, sorry if that's not a satisfactory answer, but that's what I have to say on the matter. You're just gonna revenge that again, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna kill you.
Wow. You had to make sure. You had to make sure.
I wasn't gonna make it back anyway. I went way too low, but that was sick.
Oh, that's yeah.
Listen, if I had to die for every stock I would take on someone, but it would mean I would like basically win every time, I'd fucking do it. All right, now you die.
Oh, actually, okay. Can I open up a topic here really quick?
Sure. Yeah, this is your podcast now. Go ahead.
All right. How do you feel about taunts in Smash Brothers?
It depends. So like for people I know, 100%, I'm like, yeah, whatever. Taunting's taunting. And even then, I know taunting's just taunting. But like sometimes it tilts me. Sometimes I'm not gonna deny that. But if someone taunts, okay.
Is it like? Is it if someone taunts? Is it like okay, game on, or if it is someone taunts, it's like oh, so you're one of those people? Like how do you react?
Kind of both, to be honest. So like, cause there's plenty of times where I play against people who are just a shitload better than me, right? And they might be dickheads, but they don't taunt. And then there's people who do taunt. And I don't know, it just doesn't really matter to me too much. Like if I see a taunt, yeah, I might get tilted. I might try to one up them and try to get the win. So like haha, don't taunt. But like if someone taunts, like I'm not gonna say shit about it. Like unless I win. If I win, then that's one thing.
No, that's respectable. I bring this up because as a player, I taunt very frequently in game. Like probably too much. And people seem to have like a lot of different opinions on it, which, you know, it surprised me how seriously some people take it. If I'm being honest. Yeah. I think a really good example is like SDSU and DSU had a ultimate crew battle. I forget how it was, like 11v11 or something like that. It was pretty big, or maybe like 9v9 or something. That was nice. It was pretty big, and it ended up coming down to me anchoring for SDSU. Oh, excuse me. And I had to anchor against Blue. I'm gonna mess up his tag. Blue 1442, I think it is. Who played Wolf. He had one stock left, and then Dare Bear, who had all 3 of his stocks left. And I ended up beating both of them and taking the dub for SDSU. And I only had 1 stock left to my name. And in that match against Dare Bear, I taunted a obscene amount of times because for me it was about like getting the crowd going, and like it was motivation, not motivation, but it was like a confidence booster for me too. Oh yep, you're just gonna do that.
Worth it.
But it just keeps the game like lighthearted for me, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of people were like angry at me for like BMing or whatever, right? And so that's just why I brought it up, is because, you know, it's just really interesting to see how people some people really get upset about it, and some people are just like, oh, it's just taunting. It's just like whatever. Because that's kind of how I view it. Like I'm in like other online games or whatever, like Valorant or I just use Valorant as an example because that's what I've been playing frequently. But you know, lots of online games, I feel like I trash talk a lot, and it doesn't come from a place of malice. It comes from like it's fun to trash talk, and it's fun to just like mess around with, you know, both your teammates and your opponents and stuff. Yeah. And you know, I just want, you know, people to know that it doesn't come from a place of malice. But also, if you're uncomfortable, I'm not saying I'm gonna stop. Like, like I think it can be. It's definitely something that is just lighthearted for me. But if it tilts my opponent, like, that's better for me, I guess. But that's just where I come from that.
I think that's fair, though. Oh, I can't believe that hit.
Probably should have Mega Wad nerd. Yeah. Oh, I fell into it. Shoot.
Yeah, I lined it up so I'd go through that platform. So if you drop through, unless like you just have a low profile, I was gonna get your ass.
Yeah, I should have jumped.
I get it, man. Like, I don't know. People will get pissed at taunting, and I'm not gonna say they're wrong to do that. Like, cause taunting can mean different things to different people, right? But like the way I see it, if you really don't want someone to taunt, either like tell them you don't want them to taunt beforehand, or just be so good at the game that they won't have time to taunt.
Exactly. No. Yeah. That's definitely it. Like, you can tell a difference between somebody who's taunting because they're getting their butt kicked and somebody who's taunting because they're kicking butt.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And
then like sometimes people throw in the taunt just to throw off the opponent and try to get them, you know, to play like really aggressively or something like that.
Right. No, I have taunted in neutral before to get the bait. I will admit to that.
Oh, I do that with Incineroar sometimes.
It works sometimes. And then when it doesn't, you look like an idiot. But
oh, for sure.
No, yeah, I would say so. Also, now every time I say absolutely, I just think of your little advice for me. And
dude, like, I really liked your commentary when we did that. It's just like, dude, you said absolutely so many times.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're working on it. That's all I'll say. Yeah. I think everyone sort of has that like word that is their, not like nervous tick, but it's their filler word. And I guess for me, without me even realizing it, absolutely was the word that, you know.
And I think that's fine. That's fine. But yeah, that's kind of to get into another topic there. So for those who follow me, you know that I love to do commentary. I actually brought PinkShirtGuy on a bit to do commentary with me before. And I think it was just because I asked you, like, hey, do you want to do commentary one time? And you're just like, yeah. And for those who are wondering, wonderful commentator. I think he's able to work with pretty much anybody. So if you're looking for somebody, definitely give him a shout out.
Hell yeah, man! I appreciate you hyping me up like that. Commentary is definitely something that I have enjoyed. For my short time doing it, I did it for that Wi-Fi tournament that we got to do, TNS Pandemic. That was a lot of fun. I got to do it for a couple offline events as well. And you know, I'm starting to try and put a resume under my belt, maybe a little bit. And I think commentary is definitely something that I would like to put a little more time into as well, just because, you know, it gives me time to enjoy the game and have fun without, you know, stressing too much about actually playing. While I do love playing this game, commentary is just another outlet for me to, you know, profess my love to the game.
I hear that, man. And that's just like that's what I do. Like, I just love this game in general. And the fact that people enjoy just listening to me talk about it, which I think is ridiculous, is it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel really good. By the way, 69%. Let's go, funny numbers.
Go, funny number. Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, oh, there it is. I think commentary is a lot of fun.
I think did like 60% damage to you.
I think Incineroar side B is a lot of not fun when I get hit by it. No, it's nice to be able to enjoy the game and not stress about playing it. Like, that is just one of the big things, one of the big reasons why I enjoy commentary a lot, because you just get to sit back, you get to watch some Smash Ultimate, and you get to say some fun jokes. And if it's something I love doing, it's saying some fun jokes. Oh, nice.
I think that's fair. Is that game? No way. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yeah, yeah, we did go on a little bit of a tangent there. I just want to make sure I hit the questions I really like to ask people. Recent results. Oh yeah, I think we already went over some moments. Yeah, you talked about definitely some moments there. So yeah, no, we definitely went through a lot of things about you as a player. And we even talked about commentary a little bit there, which, by the way, like I really do think you should pursue commentary more. I think you're really good at it. I think we kind of already went over that, but yeah, no, it's just like there are certain people, right, that I have clicked really, really well with on the first go.
Sure.
Some of them are like Grumpy Gamer G. He runs A&G. Grayola. Last. Who else? Censored. Censored's fantastic to work with. Rickles is really great. And then I would even put you up there in terms of like people I've connected with like instantly. And it might help that we know each other beforehand too, so we kind of know how each other's mannerisms are. But in terms of like doing commentary, it was super, super good.
Yeah, and I think, you know, a reason why I have an affinity for commentary is because I am a people person, and I don't necessarily, like, I played a lot of games growing up, but Smash to me isn't really like my life. And I know, like, let's see, how do I describe this? Smash, for a lot of people, I think a lot of people get way too serious with the game, and they put like too much emphasis. I think that's the right word. Too much emphasis on their performance in the game, and too much emphasis on like the game itself. When, you know, it's important. You know, a wise man once said, "It's only game why you have to be mad," right? Like,
love that guy.
Like, it's just, that's the way it is. You know, I'm a college student. People, you know, may not be aware, I'm a Division I college athlete as well. I have responsibilities and hobbies and sports and things that I enjoy outside of the game. And I'm a very extroverted person. And I think that's one of the big reasons why commentary appeals to me so much, because I get to use that, you know, both my knowledge for the game, my love for the game, but also my love for, you know, making people laugh, making people entertained. I've always been a fan of like public speaking too, and I think all of those things go together to turn into, you know, a good mixture of success for, you know, myself doing commentary. So not to toot my own horn or anything, but I think, you know, that may be the reason why it seemed to click so easily for me. And, you know, those being my strengths, like, I'm going to keep trying and work on them, of course. Like, commentary is not something that you can get perfect on the first go. Sometimes you just say the same word over and over again, like, absolutely. And then, you know, you think you're doing great. And then that's, you know, there's always things to work on as well.
Oh, yeah, no, for sure. So, like, here's the thing. It's like, even though, like, I seem to be doing well as a commentator, and, like, I think I definitely do well enough. Like, I know how to talk. And like you said, like, I'm also a people person. I've always been an entertainer. I like to get loud and rowdy. It's just who I am. But, like, the fact that, like, people even like what I do and think that I'm good, like, I know I still have plenty to work on. And I think recognizing that is what helps people get even better. Because after, like, every time I do commentary with somebody, almost, I always ask them, like, hey, what do you think I could do better? Like, especially if it's someone I know who's very experienced. Because I just, any critique that you can give me that can make me at least, you know, more, I guess, widely appealing, I'll take that. I mean, because I would love to honestly do this as a job. Granted, it's not entirely, like, not viable, but livable doing just that. I mean, I would have to have another job. But being able to, like, you know, if like we go back to offline and majors start like reaching out to me, that's the big goal. Like, that's it. That's all I want in life.
Yeah, for sure. I think, and I think that's a really good mindset to have. Like, that learning mindset, that growth mindset is something that I've been preaching for so long. Mm-hmm. You know, I think somebody who's way smarter than me once said this. He said, God, now I'm going to forget the quote. He said, the master has failed more times than the novice has even attempted. And I think that's super, super cool to like just think about. Like, of course, you know, the masters try more times than the novices attempted, but I think a lot of people, especially people who are new to a scene, whether it's a video game like Smash, or if it's you know, a sport or an activity, or it's a hobby, anything, you have to try and fail over and over again to even get anywhere remotely close to being good. I know there's another one, and I don't necessarily believe this is like, you know, 100% fact, right? But it's that 10,000 hours rule, where it's like you have to put in 10,000 hours to master something. I'm not really I'm not so sure on, like, you know, there being a super specific number for that, but you do have to put in a lot of time, whether it's 10,000 hours or whether it's, you know, some other arbitrary number. Like, it doesn't really matter. What does matter is it's not, you can't, just because you're not good at something right away doesn't mean that yeah, whoops. Just because you're not good at something right away doesn't mean you should just like give up on it. You know what I'm saying? So I think that is something really important to just keep in mind for people who are trying to get into Smash, but also like other hobbies and activities. Like, it doesn't have to just be Smash. You can apply a growth mindset to anything. But just make sure, like, when you are practicing, you're practicing the right way. And I guess that's another little thing where, you know, swimming, my experience in swimming has really helped me get better as a player in Smash Brothers, because, you know, in swimming, I'm a sprinter. I'm a sprint swimmer. I do sprint freestyle and sprint backstroke. And in those events, you have to be completely perfect, especially in my favorite event, which is the 50 freestyle. If not everything is perfect about your race, you have no chance of winning. Like, you probably don't even have a chance of finishing in the top 4 of your heat. And so I think that has really helped me improve as a player, because you know, it motivates me to go lab and to go get games with people, and make sure that everything that I'm trying to do is perfect. Like, there's no mistakes in my movement, no misinputs, because you know, in the heat of the moment, right, the reason why we train and the reason why we practice, both in swimming and in Smash Brothers, and in any sport in general, right, you practice and you drill something 1,000 times, right, so you can get it under pressure, so you don't even have to think about it.
Right, yeah.
And that is the most important thing, right, is getting your fundamentals to the point where you don't even have to think, and you can spend your time thinking about more important things, like how to outplay your opponent, or, you know, how to adapt to what they've been doing, rather than thinking about, you know, exactly how you need to do your inputs to get this certain combo or whatever, you know, what have you. So I kind of went off on like a tangent there, but I think that's the important thing about practice, is making sure you're practicing efficiently and perfectly.
Yeah. And actually, that's fine that you went on a tangent. I mean, at some point, I was going to open a floor for you to talk about whatever you want to talk about. And this sounds like something you're passionate about. So why would I stop you in your own showcase?
Well, yeah, no, I appreciate that. Something, yes, that's something I'm definitely passionate about, is, you know, practicing and training, and using what I've learned from both swimming, just like as a competitor, and also what I've learned from, you know, coaching. I've actually coached people for swimming before, and taught lessons and whatnot, and so there's a lot that goes into that. Oh, that was nasty. There's a lot that goes into that that can be, you know, transferred over to a competitive game like Smash Bros.
I think that's definitely true. Yeah. And I kind of feel it the same way. Like, I used to play basketball a lot. I don't do it quite as much anymore because I keep hurting myself. But like in high school, you know, I was a captain of my basketball team and all that good shit. And I totally get the like competitive aspect. Like, you don't become a good player a big thing that I noticed very quickly is like my dad. So he was one of my coaches, but he also coached like the local college team, right?
Yeah.
And the local college team was just a D3 team, right? They were decent, They said like it's not like they were amazing, but like at the same time, it's like they were still really good. Like it's D3 college. So where that kind of goes into, and what I'm trying to get into it, is he brought the whole team to the he brought the whole team to one of the games one time just to watch my brother's team because he went to college at Fitchburg. And they had this other guy, I forget what his name was. I think he was also a Brian something. But this dude was unreal. 1,000-point scorer at the college and all that stuff. And it's like when you sit there and you have an idea of like where you're at as a player, but then you start watching like even just like a lowly high school team watching a D3 college, you notice like the big skill gap there, right? And like this guy that I'm talking about, this dude was phenomenal. He was great on the court there, but then like you watch it and it's like it's almost like he doesn't have a lot of flaws. But then if you put him on a floor at like a D1 school, one, he probably wouldn't get a lot of play, and if he did, he'd probably get eaten up. Like we just don't know. And it's just kind of like that's the difference in skill gaps. And like those people got there because they practice day in and day out. So like if you want to become one of those those top players in anything, you have to put in that practice. You have to be able to fail, because when you fail, you realize what your weaknesses are. And when you realize what your weaknesses are, you're able to build on that to become an even better player overall.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And you make, you're touching on something that I think not a lot of people realize is the skill gap between, you at your best friend's house when you've never played against in like a real Smash Brothers tournament, right? Against somebody who goes to consistent tournaments and goes 0-2, there is a skill gap there, and it's huge. And then the skill gap between somebody who goes 0-2 at every tournament and somebody who goes, 2-2, or like somebody who gets like top 8 at every tournament, that's another huge skill gap. And it just keeps going on and on until you're at a skill gap between the, top 5 in the world and MK Leo. There's another skill gap there. And it's like, right, it's skill gaps all the way up. And it's just like, it can be discouraging at times, but it can also be, really motivating at times to see, okay, I used to be somebody who goes 0-2 at every tournament, and now I'm somebody that goes 2-2 at every tournament. And that doesn't feel like a big increase in like skill, but because I'm only getting 2 wins at every tournament, right? Hypothetically, but then you go and you look at people who are still going 0-2 at every tournament they go to, and then you play against them and you wipe the floor with them. And it's just something that it is discouraging until you take a step back and you look at it with clearer eyes, and you're like, wait, maybe I've improved more than I thought.
Yeah, like you gotta look at it as a moment to learn in general.
Yeah,
I think like because I and I think it's just kind of like the way we've kind of built up as a society. But like in general, like it's people are so judgmental in general. Like, oh, you didn't do this your first try. Like, what are you, a loser? And people like take that at like such a face value. And it's like, dude, you can't just like get out there and win immediately. It's just not what's gonna happen. And it's like as soon as people like lose, they get discouraged, and then it's just like, well, if I can't do this, I just can't do this. I'm never gonna be good enough. It's like, bro, it's not that simple.
Right. Yeah. You have to remember what's realistic, right?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, yeah, that's definitely a really good topic, for sure. I think another thing to kind of go into that though is, since we're talking about like players and stuff like that and skill gaps and stuff, one thing I definitely want to put out there, and somebody said it best, and I forget who it was, but when you're playing, you should always seek out players of all skill levels, because when you're playing against better players, that's a good time for you to work on your neutral and your fundamentals, and like trying to figure out what actually works and where you're flawed as a player, right? But you shouldn't just be looking to play better players. You should be looking to play worse players too, because that's where you can start practicing your combos and among other things. But even then, like, you can use that time to also just teach someone who's worse than you, because even if you can't be the greatest player, being a coach goes a long way. It goes so far.
Yeah, and I think something really underrated as a learning method is teaching. Teaching as a way to learn is so undervalued. When you teach somebody, you are further incorporating what you already know, and you're just making that like more imprinted into your brain, basically. And it just gives you a better understanding as the teacher of these concepts. And like there's no downsides. Like you're making somebody better at the game, and you're also giving yourself a better understanding at you know, these concepts that you're talking about. And no, I think you're entirely right about that. Playing against somebody who's worse than you also can help you look for things and get prepared to face things that aren't optimal. I think a lot of people struggle in the early stages of a bracket because they're looking and they're assuming that their opponent is always going to choose what's optimal. And people at that level do not always choose what's optimal. They don't even know what's optimal every time. And so to, you know, practice with people who are at that level, you know, it opens your eyes to watching and understanding how to deal with the suboptimal and understanding, you know, okay, yes, this is what's optimal. This is what I should look out for. But what are all of their options? What, you know, not only their optimal options, but maybe things that most normal or most top level players wouldn't actually do. So I think that's another thing to look out for.
Because that was it. There's another thing, especially with the whole coaching thing. Like a really good example about coaching is like there's so many different ways to coach. Like obviously you could teach like how to play the game better and stuff like that, among other things. But like one really good example I want to point out there is let's look at probably the most famous example of coaching in at least Ultimate alone, which I think is Tweak and Korean, right?
Sure.
Korean is not better at the game than Tweak, not by a long shot. Tweak is a top 2, top 3 player in the world at worst.
Yeah.
And Korean, great player, doesn't hold a candle to you know, to Tweak's ability, and that's not a knock on him. However, Korean is like a mentality coach for Tweak, and that's huge. Like even though we know Tweak has the ability to beat the best player in the best players in the world, and even possibly even be the best player in the world. He struggles with his mentality, so he got a coach for that. So like, just to have somebody who kind of like, hey, you know, you're doing this, you need to, you know, settle down here, blah blah blah, this, that, and another. And like that goes a long way. Like, obviously, you know, Kareem does a really good job because people talk about, hey, you're his coach, right? Like I hear it all the time.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Coaches, you know, the best coaches in the world weren't necessarily the best athletes in the world. And you know, that's in like the world of sports. Esports is the same way, right? If you want to be a good coach, you have to practice things that maybe aren't the same things that you need to practice to be a good competitor. You need to understand, right, strategy. You have to understand mentality and psychology on a different level than, you know, most of the players do, right? And so to be a good coach doesn't necessarily mean you have to be a good player. And that's something I wish more people would realize. Is like, just because somebody is like, you know, advertising that, you know, they're going to start coaching, or advertising that they're looking for a coach, you know, you can't be so picky to say like, okay, I only want people who, you know, have beaten, you know, XYZ top players, right? Yeah. You have to look for people who have a track record of being a good coach, and people who have a track record of an analytical, you know, side of like, of understanding the game, right? And that's another thing with like, you know, between like Korean and Tweak, like Tweak, like you were saying, is like Tweak, or excuse me, like you said, Tweak is better at the game than Korean is. Like, I don't think anyone's disputing that, but when you're playing the game, you're not, there's more things going on than you can, you know, see just from the competitor's standpoint. Like, it's hard to notice everything that happens in a game when you're the one playing in the game. And so, you know, for Korean and for every coach that, you know, can come in and coach, you know, either in the middle of a set or after a set, right? They can give you advice, things that you were like totally blind to as a player. And that advice, then, you know, you know what to look out for next time, but you also don't have to worry about, you know, as a player, necessarily looking for all the tiny details. Like, of course, when you're playing Smash, you know, you're trying to abuse habits, but there's only so much you can look out for. And so to have a coach who has your back there and can help you find those really minuscule things, like, that is such a plus to top players like Tweak and you know, everyone, all those guys who have coaches like that who are at that level, right?
Mm-hmm. Not for sure. Like, it definitely helps to get a coach, especially like if you're looking to improve, you can always just ask around. And even if like a coach you get temporarily isn't the guy who's going to give you all the answers now, if he can give you some of the answers, that's big. Like,
yeah.
Like one of the most famous coaches, and I think of all time, is Greg Popovich, right? Dude literally ran a whole dynasty, like 5 championships over 20 years, right?
Right.
This guy's revered as one of the greatest basketball coaches of all time. Can you know, bring a whole bunch of players. Like, people always talk about, like, when a decent player or someone who's falling off goes to the Spurs, right? Like, all of a sudden they have a career resurgence, or they're just a better player in general. And it's because of that's the type of like mentality and game plan and kind of growth that Greg Popovich can put on the people. And the thing I want to point out all the time is, like, he was never one of the greatest players of all time. Not even close. He's never revered that way. He's nobody looks at him and be like, oh yeah, this guy was competing with like Michael Jordan or something like that. No. That was never talked about. I don't know if Greg Popovich actually even ever played in the NBA. I don't know what level of college he played in, if he did play at all. But the guy knows the game almost better than anybody else. He knows how to get like these honestly mediocre players to play as though, like, you know, they're some of the top players in the league. And it's just something that he does, man. It's just like, it's having a good coach just goes such a long way. So that's just kind of what I just want to end that one on. Ah!
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. There are a lot of parallels that can be drawn between the world of athletics and the world of esports. And I think as esports becomes more of a what's the word? A norm?
Mm-hmm.
I think that line is going to get blurred even further. That's a ledge trap, by the way. It's pretty slick.
You're not slick.
Hey, man. What can I say? But no, I think that's a really good point. Also, I have no idea who Greg Popovich is. I know nothing about football or basketball or baseball. Or
if you don't know anything about the sports, I don't expect you to know. Like, I mean, you know who like Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant are and stuff like that, because those guys are just like iconic in their own right. But Greg Popovich, in terms of like basketball coaches, he's like the Michael Jordan of basketball coaches, or the Kobe Bryant.
Okay, I got you. Yeah. No, like, I gathered, but no, I mean, there's gonna be coaches like that in any sport, in any esport, and that's, I think, something really important that you brought up is, like, the best coach is almost never the best player, and what it really has to come down to is knowledge of the game, and that's something that I think is really important, and is one of the reasons why, you know, I've tried a little bit, mostly unsuccessfully, but a little bit, tried to get into the coaching deal, because that's something that I actually really enjoy is coaching, because I like seeing my buddies improve, and I think I know a lot about this game, which, you know, unfortunately, I wish I could put all of that into play here, but clearly I would not have upthrown you if I knew I knew everything.
I don't know if she has even like a kill throw, so damn, 200%. Ah, never mind, I cursed it.
Yeah.
But no, I think that was a really good session though. Just talking about, like, coaching and improving as a player and stuff like that. We definitely went on a bit of a tangent, but it was a good tangent for sure.
Yeah, nothing wrong with tangents, man. Now sine and cosine, that's what you gotta watch out for. What a way to end it.
Actually, that is a good way to end it. We're actually approaching the hour. We're actually at the hour mark now.
Oh, perfect.
But yeah, no. Again, everybody, this is PinkShirtGuy, unranked player from South Dakota. Pretty solid min main, if I do say so myself. I think when we get back to offline, you keep with this character. I think you're gonna make some waves for sure. Outside of that. We went over some pretty good stuff. We went over PinkShirtGuy as a player, as a person, and we really dove into the whole mentality thing in general. I feel like we could definitely do a lot more on this if we actually came in more constructed, but maybe we could do that another time, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always down to chat mentality. I think that's, one of my favorite things to talk about. If I had to close this with anything, I would just want people to know that I'm here to have a good time. And if you're ever interested in getting better at the game, reach out. Send me some VODs or, get in contact with me for a coaching session. My Twitter is PinkShirtGuySSB. Always open to chatting. Thanks, Skiff, so much for having me on.
No, man, thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. In fact, this is the one thing, I'm super appreciative of is when people are like, hey, thanks for having me on. I'm like, nah, dude, I didn't have to pay you, and you just showed up and wanted to talk about yourself. That's great. It's content. I'm not getting paid for this content or anything like that, but it's just something I enjoy doing. But anyway, yeah, definitely a good way to end that there. Really bad joke into some pretty good words. Make sure you send me your any links that you want to put into the bio. But anyway, guys, this is another episode of Skiff Smasher Showcase. This one featuring PinkShirtGuy again, unranked player from South Dakota, but super talented in other ways. Don't have to be the best player like you said earlier. Yeah, any other final words?
No, I don't think so. Advice to the people listening: eat healthy, get your sleep, brush your teeth. It's a beautiful day.
I think that's a good way and a beautiful way to put it out there and end this video. Anyway, yeah, this is wonderful, Skiff. Thank you guys for watching this one, and yeah, be good to each other, buds.